Hey everybody, it's Russ King again, and in the last video we showed you how to import and scale a drawing, and as promised, we're going to show you how to place rooms and vaulted ceilings and things like that. So get your drawing scaled. I usually like to open it with the top view, so you're looking straight down on top of it, and you got to really study your drawings before you import it. It's always good to have a printed out set that you can read that's very clear. It's got all your dimensions and everything. And one thing you'll notice about this plan, or that I should point out about this plan, is here's a master bedroom. You'll notice that it has a vaulted ceiling here that slopes up to a ridge in the middle of the room and slopes down on the two sides. And then similarly, in the living room, there's a vaulted ceiling and the ridge runs left to right. So the back slopes down this way and the front slopes down this way. And then in the dining room, we have a coffered ceiling. Okay, so I want to point those out. And Quick Model does have the capacity to model those rooms correctly with the vaulted ceilings and all that. So I'm going to go ahead and start placing the rooms. And I'm going to start with a front view. And I usually start in the back for some reason. It doesn't matter, but um, the elevations are set to 8 feet. Let me go back and show you that really quick. Elevations, so 8-foot heights, got 6-inch, half a foot floor. This is a slab on grade house, and no heels on the truss. So 8-foot ceilings. So when we place a room, that'll be the default room height. The default room size is 10 by 10. That's typically fine. And then you just hit Alt, click, and it will place a room. And you can use that back corner there to line it up. So the first thing you want to do is get it nice and lined up with your floor plan. And notice that you can see that floor. That's the slab down there. So that's what you're going by. And you want to get it lined up right on that corner there. And if it doesn't line up perfectly, you can move the floor plan just a tad if you need to. So it looks like it's off just a smidge. So let's go back to floor plan and click move floor plan, and then we can scooch it over just enough to get it nice and lined up there. So that looks much better. So I always want to start with your first room lined up, because then everything else is going to kind of key off of that. Okay, so I'm going to hit front again, go back here, zoom in, and you'll see that if I click the room, you have to click the room once to select it. It doesn't move until you click it again, and then it moves around. Okay, and the reason for that is so that you don't accidentally move a room by clicking on it in the first place. And let me make sure I didn't mess it up here, and looks like I did. I scooted it over, so there we go, back in place. All right, so once you get it in there, now you can start stretching things out. Most definitions of conditioned space are measured to the exterior surface of the exterior wall, so that's what we're going to stretch everything out to. Okay. Also, if the parallax bothers you, you can always go into this go top 2D mode, and that makes it a little easier to sort of look straight down on it. Okay. Also, if the panning is too slow for you, go over here and move the camera speed up just a little bit, and you can see it a little bit better that way. All right, so we've got the master bath there, and the master bath, I'm going to include the walk-in closet in the loads of the master bath. That'll give it a little extra load. I'm also going to include part of the hallway, and that's just something you learn after a while, that it really doesn't have that big of an input. The load right here doesn't really affect a whole lot, but it needs to be accounted for, so it will get put into this master bath. Okay, the bath down here, I'm going to include part of the hallway, and I could either pull it down here and include the closet and part of that hallway, but I think I'll come back to about there and put this hallway in that bedroom like so. Okay, and then I just go around the house. And the nice thing is that everything bumps up against. It's called colliding. So it won't go over into that room. So it makes things go really fast. If for some reason you start too close to another room, so if I place it right here, a 10 by 10 room is going to overlap into these rooms, and that's when you get that pink color like that. And all that is saying is, hey, move it out, and then it'll collide. Okay, just like so. All right, so I'll go back here. Now, this is the change in the ceiling height right here. So it slopes up and then it slopes down. This is flat here, so I want to um, do this correctly. So I will fill in. You want to make sure everything gets filled in correctly, like so. Okay. Put a little room here on the entry. Go ahead and finish this room up here. I'll pull it back there. All right, so now we've got the dining room. Sorry, I said the dining room's up here. It's not. It's down here. And it has a bay window. It's got these 45-degree windows. So we're going to build that out of smaller blocks. So what you want to do is put the biggest rectangle you can into that space, or rectangular square, like so, and like so. And then fill it in with rectangles as best you can. So here's another rectangle like that. Now we've got these two little triangles here that we need to fill in. And if you look over here in room mode, it says triangle rooms. So click on that, hit Alt place, and it'll place a triangle room. The tab key rotates it. So just try to scale it in like so. Okay, if it's too big, you can shrink it down before you tuck it in there, and then fine tune the size like so. Okay, that's how you do it. So, and then you'll want to group these next. So you click on it, then you hit the Control, and then select all the rooms you want to group. Then come over here and hit the Group key. Now all those blocks are assembled into one room, and when you move it, they all move together. You can still size them independently, but they're all stuck together, and they will be saved in the tables for the takeoffs as the room. We'll name it the dining room, and all those blocks all the areas from those blocks will be added together in the room. All right, now this little guy here, we forgot to, I forgot to group it, so I'm going to put it in with this room here. So Control, Select, Group. Okay. All right, and we'll do some other grouping later on when we get to that point, because like the vaulted ceilings, we'll group those to a particular room. Now the entry, if you're not going to put a register in the entry, and maybe not, it's probably too small, so I'm going to go ahead and I'll group it with this other group. I'll group it with the dining room. So basically the register in the dining room will be serving the load of the entry as well. And now they should all stick together like so. Okay. To the utility, oops, gotta go back to, don't forget to go back to square rooms. Like so. And so, all right. Now I like to do the garage mainly for looks, because it just looks funny to build a 3D model of a house that doesn't have the garage in it. And this is a nice rectangular garage, so it's really simple. But you want to make sure that you designate the garage as unconditioned. So while it's selected, you come over here and check this box, and you'll notice that it turns a slight green color. You'll see it more when it's in 3D mode. So we basically got all the rooms selected, but we got to go back and do the vaulted ceilings. Okay, so I'm going to go back into 3D mode, uncheck that. I'm going to click the front. There you can see the green for the garage. So let's go back here and put a vault on this master bedroom. So if you go over here into room mode, you'll see vaulted ceilings. There's two kinds of vaulted ceiling. There's a rectangular vaulted ceiling that's got a slope to it. A triangle, and then there's a square vaulted ceiling for just different kinds of shapes that you'll do. I'll show you how to use that in just a second. So you just simply click Alt, click, and it puts a ceiling on top of the room that you click, and then the green button changes the height of that vault. So I'm going to kind of line it up with the middle of the room there. You see how the line goes down the middle, and line it with the back like so. And that looks pretty good. Now, as far as the height of this vault, you're going to want to look at the sections in the plans to see what it is. So that looks pretty good like that. Now come around here, make sure you didn't miss a little bit like I did. So scoot that out just a tad. Now that all looks good. Now that's a 3D vaulted space for that bedroom. And as I mentioned, we want to make sure that we group all those together so that the load of these little triangles get put into that master bedroom there. So click on the master bedroom, hit Control, select the vault, select that vault, hit Group, and now they're all one group, like so. And the takeoffs will be grouped together like that as well. And, oops, I didn't put it back in the right spot. There, okay. All right, so there we go. Now we just gotta do the very same thing for the living room. Sorry, for the the living and kitchen. So here's the ridge, runs down the middle, vaulted ceiling. Well, let me show you real quick a couple things. I forgot to show you how this green button works. The blue scales this way, the red scales that way, stretches, the gray stretches both in the corners, stretches both at the same time. The green changes the height when you're in this mode. Okay, so I can make the rooms taller or shorter as needed. But if I go to vertical mode, there's still a green box there, a button, but watch what it does now. It actually raises the whole room up and down. So if you have a split level house with a step up in it, you can do like that. Okay. And there you go. So when you're in vertical mode, the green raises and lowers the whole room. When you're in the move and scale mode, it changes the height of the room. Okay. All right. So let me show you also real quick. Square vaulted ceilings just puts a box up there. It looks just like a room, but it's actually a vaulted ceiling. So if you had a, this is a very common kind of vault, sort of a barn style vault. Get it lined up here. Put a triangle, vaulted ceiling. Don't be afraid to change your view if it makes it easier to see what you're doing. Sometimes I get a little bit lazy and don't do that. I should. There we go, right there. Shorten it down a little bit, like so. Oops, actually I went over into the laundry room or the bathroom. Didn't mean to do that. Pull this one down just a smidge. Okay, so that's a different kind of vault, but that's actually not what this has. I was just kind of showing you in case there's a a flat vaulted area in a room, you could do that. So let me delete this, and then I'll just adjust these to go out like they're supposed to be. And you see how it's crooked? This side's smaller than this side. So what you need to do is use the line in the floor, this line right here. Okay, maybe get directly above it or something like that. And it looks better. See how that line where those two vaults meet line up with this line on the floor plan there. That looks better. The height looks okay. About the same as the master bath. Again, you would look in the sections to get a more accurate. Okay. Actually, that still looks like that side's a little bit bigger, so I can just easily just scooch it over. Boom. And the other thing you can do is look down here. It'll say 29 by 8 by 4. And we click on this one, 29 by 8.5 by 4. So that's the problem. So we go this way, this way. Okay, so I click on front, and there we go. That's got all of our surfaces, and then we click off here. All of our surfaces in there. And because this is the garage is unconditioned, it's going to ignore the garage essentially. It's not going to count any of these areas here, and but it will count this wall here because that's between conditioned and unconditioned space. So there is heat transfer through these two walls into the utility room and into the bathroom and pantry. Okay, so it is counting those in the tables, and you'll see those in the tables if you go look at them. Okay, all right, next thing to do is windows. So I usually start in the front left, and you look down here and you see a 6040 slider. All right, so let's go to window mode. Make sure Windows is selected. Then you hold the Alt key and click the mouse button down, and I'm just going to drag along the width of this. Drag across, line it up as best you can, taking into account parallax. Okay, and I guessed, or I drew 5.95. So real close to 6. So darn close, but I'll go ahead and change that to exactly 6. 4 feet high. And then this third says distance from the top. So that's from here to here. And that's pretty typical to be 1 foot. So there you go. That's a 6040 window, 1 foot from the top. Go right here. Here's another window. Same thing. Draw it out. 6, 4, 1. Okay. Here, go to the door. Click on doors. It's a 3068 door, which is what it defaults to when you click a door, place a door. So that's right where it needs to be. Then we got a 3050 window right here. So go back to Windows. By the way, you see the 1 and the 2? Instead of clicking on windows and doors, if you hit the 1 key or the 2 key, it automatically selects those. So that's what those numbers are for up there. Okay, so Alt, drag it across, 3050, 351. Here we have a 6050 that barely fits in there. So 651. Another 3050. 351. 2640. 2.541. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and do this. Again, this is just for looks, so that it looks like the floor plans. The window in the garage is completely ignored for load calculations. Also, let's go ahead and do a garage door. So take a door, click on it. It's a 16 by 7. So 16, 7, and don't have to change that. But let's drag it over, line it up. There we go. Okay, there is a door between the garage and the house. Now, if I were to just try to click on that, it's going to click on the first surface it sees, which is the roof of the garage. So it just put a door in the roof of the garage or the ceiling of the garage, which is not what we want. So we need to delete that. So there's a couple ways you can do that. You can go back to room mode, drag the garage out of the way, put a door there. Oops, go back to door mode, put a door, and then bring the garage back. Go back to room and bring it back like so. The other way to do it is just go into the garage. It'll put it there. But the reason it put it in the ceiling is because we were above the ceiling. So if you go inside, it'll do it right. Okay. All right. So again, just for looks, put one right there. Go back to Windows, and I will do the rest of the windows real quick. Let me show you though real quick before I do that. Sliding glass doors. All you do with sliding glass doors is it's basically a window. So 6068 is 6.667. Sliding glass doors sit flat on the ground. If it was up like that, all you do is pull it down so it's touching the bottom and it'll stay there. Okay, that's how you do sliding glass doors. So let me do the rest of these really quick. Now you notice I've got 3 identical windows right here, 2630s. And to place similar windows, you can copy. So highlight it, hit Control C, and then Alt, Control, Alt, click, and it puts an identical window at the same height. So again, highlight the window, Control C, and then Control Alt click. Okay, all right, and go to the front, and that's it. If for any reason you have skylights, that's just a window in a ceiling, so you can say 2040, and you can move it up and down however you want to. Control C, Control Alt click, click. So there's some skylights. Okay. This house doesn't have skylights, so those are just for demonstration. So I'll delete those. Okay. All right. One interesting feature that we put in here, that because occasionally you'll run into houses that have rooms that are kind of turned at an angle from the rest of the house. So let me delete the garage here. And so let's say instead of a garage here, there's a wing of the house that comes off at about a 45-degree angle to the rest of the house. Okay, so it's pretty easy. Go into the rooms, square rooms, place the room, select it, and hit T. And that turns it at a 45-degree angle to the rest of the house. Okay, so you could bring it in like this. And so we've got this weird gap here we need to fill in. And of course, you'll fill that in with a triangle room. So we'll take that, fit it in here like so. And there you go. Okay, so if you have rooms that are at a slight angle to the rest of the house, then you can just build your rooms off of that using the T command. So select T, T, like that. Okay, and that's pretty much it. Rooms, windows, doors, skylights, vaulted ceilings, bay protrusions like that. All right. Good luck, everyone. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact us. And have a great day.